Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. So we like to share from time to time more how-tos than recipes, because if you know how to do some things in the kitchen, you can really create a sustainable home. So whether you have bought too much produce at the big box store, or if you have a huge bounty in your garden at the end of the summer and you can't give everything away, we're going to show you how to blanch vegetables to put in the freezer. So I love the thought of canning, but I work full time, and canning, I can't commit to it. So I freeze a lot of vegetables, and I'm going to show you my very simple and quick method, plus a bonus on how to easily peel tomatoes. So I tend to do these two things at the same time because I put up a lot of tomatoes in the freezer too. And I don't like to put them up with the peel on there because I make a lot of sauces and pico de gallo and things like that with them, so the peel kind of needs to come off. So we're going to show you how to do both of those things right now. All right, so what you see here is just a small sampling. I've got some cauliflower and I have some broccoli that florets that I have kind of separated. And I'm going to break down my cauliflower just a little bit smaller. And I like cauliflower, you know, you can trim it off of the stem, but it's real easy to separate like this too. And you could do it as small as you like. So I try to get everything about the same size. Now, I also have some baby carrots in here because I did a roast not long ago. And I don't want these to go to waste, so I'm going to freeze them. Now, on your tomatoes, I like to just take a knife, and at the top and the bottom, we're just gonna just ever so lightly go into the skin, and X marks the spot, okay? So we do that on the top and the bottom for all of those things. Now behind me, and I'm using my Instant Pot, you can certainly use a regular pot of water on the stove. I've just got probably about a half a gallon of water coming to a soft, steady boil. And I've already got another bowl with an ice bath ready to go. And you can do this with all manner of fresh vegetables. And it doesn't have to be garden fresh. If you go to the big box store and buy a big bag of vegetables and you've got way too many left, then, this is a good way to do that. So now I'm just going to get us ready, make sure that my water is boiling, and it is. We got a good soft boil. So we will switch over to our blanching water now after I just check everything, make sure it's like I want it. So stand by. All right, so my blanching station is ready. I have, like I said, I'm using my Instant Pot on the saute function. It works fine. That way I can kind of free up my stove to have me just a little bit. I have an ice bath over here, and I have a strainer, and I have a pan with a tea towel on it because we are going to drain these things when we take them out of the ice bath. So to our gently boiling water, and I'm going to do this with my strainer because all this stuff plops down in there, then I'm liable to get burned. So this is a good idea. If you have a strainer, just use it to kind of help load it up and drop your things in there. Now naturally, your water that's boiling, because you're adding cooler things to it, the temperature is going to go down. So you want to just watch it and make sure that everything comes back up like it should. And we're just going to stir that around in there, and we just want them to kind of bathe in this softly boiling water for probably about 1 to 2 minutes. And it doesn't take long. You'll notice that broccoli is already turning a really pretty bright green. And you can do this in batches. You don't have to do everything all at once, but I'm going to freeze this medley all together. So it's just a no-brainer for me just to kind of throw everything in there. So now our water is starting to gently boil again. And I'm just going to turn everything around in there and make sure that it's all getting incorporated into that boiling water. And then now we want to take these guys out after about a minute or two, strain them a little bit, and put them directly into an ice bath. Because we have started the cooking process, we want to stop that, and the ice bath is the quickest way to do that. Now, I always keep extra ice on hand, and once I see my ice starting to melt in my ice bath, then I'll just add a little more to it. All right, I'm going to need some help getting all these carrots out, so I'm going to use my tongs. And they're a little bit thicker and woodier, so if they stay in a minute longer than your leafy green vegetables, it's fine. They're still going to be good and snappy. And look how pretty and bright orange they are. So this not only preserves flavor, it also preserves color. And it sure beats the stuff going bad sitting in your produce drawer in the refrigerator. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the tomatoes. And you know, listen, it's nothing to get a pot of water boiling on the stove. If you need to quickly, and I mean quickly, peel some tomatoes, this is the way to do it. So we're going to let those guys swim for a minute or two. And we've made that crosshatch incision on the bottom. And we might even get to start see them peeling on their own. Now, just an FYI, if you have trouble peeling peaches, this is the way to do that too. So you can, yes, you can even do this with some fruit that is hard to peel. All right, while we're waiting on that, I'm going to take out my vegetables from my ice bath. So you got about a minute or two in the boiling water, and then about a minute or two in the ice bath. And then I just take mine out and just strain them on a tea towel so that they can come back to room temperature and dry. So what I will do, once they've dried, and I might get a little paper towel kind of to help things along, I will wrap them in plastic wrap, and then I will put them in a freezer bag, and I will date and label what's in my freezer bag so that I'll know to use it. And y'all, these vegetables will stay good in the freezer from 8 to 10 months, really probably a year. Now, once a month on the first of the month, I do a freezer check, a freezer inventory for all of my vegetables and my meat, and check for things that have, well, no, it's not the first of the month. It's the very last weekend of the month, and I'll explain that here in just a minute why I do it then. But I look and make sure there's nothing in there that's freezer burnt. If it is, I toss it. And the reason why I do it on the last weekend of the month is because we have big dump day down here. So y'all know I live in the sticks. So when you live in the sticks, you know, we have, it's not a landfill, it's a compactor. So I don't like to just take a bunch of smelly meat and stuff to the dump. So I will wait until then when they have a large influx of trash coming in, so that I know that the compactor gets emptied that day. Because I don't want to add to any stinking going on. I know that's silly. Okay, so our tomatoes, they've been in probably a good 2 minutes. You can see that peeling where we cross-hatched it is already starting to peel backwards. Once you see that, drop them in the ice bath. Even if it's just on one side, and I'll show you in a minute after they cool why we cross-hatched them on the top too. So I'm going to turn my Instant Pot off. Then I'm going to move my ice bath. And then move my vegetables that are cooling on the tea towel. And we'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, so while our tomatoes kind of hang out in the ice bath, I just want to show you how gorgeous and green these vegetables are. And the cauliflower, they're still very, very pretty and still very much intact. Like, I'm going to hold it up to my mic so you can hear it snap. Hold on. So they're fresh. They're still fresh. But we've blanched them to hold in that flavor. This is just like steaming pretty much. You know how when you buy frozen vegetables and it says that they have been steamed for freshness? Well, this is the same concept here. And the carrots, here we go. Well, if I can, here, I'll cut it. So you can see that it's still all intact. It's not cooked. We stopped that cooking process, so everything is good. So now I'm just gonna allow these things to dry on my tea towel, and then I will prep them and package them to go in the freezer. So let's take a look at our tomatoes. They've been in the ice bath long enough. So we have this peeling that just comes right off. And cross-hatching it on the top means for a clean way to make sure that you get all of that skin off of the top. Now you can go a step further and you can crush these and core them or whatever you want to do. They are still very much, and I have to be careful because it's slick. They're still very much intact. See, they're not cooked. They're very firm in the middle. They're still very much intact. But I like to freeze them whole. That way, if I decide that I want to make pico with them, I can, and I can dice them up after I thaw them. If I go through and I crush them all, then all I can make is like sauce with them. So this allows me to have a little more freedom with what I do. So we're just going to finish peeling this last guy. So gorgeous, just absolutely perfect. So we're going to let those strain as well. I'm going to move my ice bath out of the way. And y'all, in less than 15 minutes, not only did we blanch our excess vegetables for the freezer, we've also peeled some tomatoes. So you can even, if you wanted to do this just before you sliced them, you could, but this is a fantastic way to have them for the freezer. So we hope that you have enjoyed our tip this week. And this method can be found over at thebutteredhome.com. We would love it if y'all gave us a visit over there. We have lots of fun and we're real proud of our website, so we would love to see you over there. Also, if you're not already, make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a really good time and we want you to be a part of that as well. And as always, if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, make sure that you head over to YouTube and search for The Buttered Home if you haven't already. And when you find us, hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. Y'all, this is great. I gotta let these things dry so I can get them in the freezer so we'll have nice, fresh summer vegetables all winter long. So, from The Buttered Home to your home, we sure love y'all. Bye.